Millions of Americans buy extra virgin olive oil every single week. They pour it over salads, drizzle it on bread, cook with it, pay premium prices for it, and trust the label completely. But here's what nobody tells you. Roughly 73% of the top-selling extra virgin olive oil brands are not actually extra virgin olive oil. Most of them barely qualify as olive oil at all. Some of these bottles are probably sitting in your pantry right now. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which brands are lying to you and which 5 brands actually deserve your money. Before we start exposing names, hit subscribe. This channel investigates the brands you trust every single week, and you don't want to miss what we uncover next. This investigation is not based on guesswork or opinion. It's based on a landmark study conducted by the University of California Dave's Olive Center, along with Italian government investigations into mislabeling, multiple class action lawsuits filed against major producers, independent scoring from Consumer Reports, and public complaint records from real customers. Every claim you're about to hear is backed by laboratory sensory testing, court documents, or verified consumer data. We didn't taste these oils ourselves and call it a day. We pulled the receipts. So let's start with the biggest fake Italian brand on the market and work our way down to single worst offender in the entire industry. Fake number 9. Italian Heritage Cover-Up, Bertolli. Bertolli is one of the most recognizable olive oil brands on the planet, with a history dating back to 1865. That heritage is exactly what the producers have been exploiting for decades. But here's the problem. Bertolli is no longer an Italian company, and what's in the bottle is not extra virgin olive oil. Bertolli was acquired by Diolio, a Spanish conglomerate, in 2014. A year later, a major scandal erupted. The Italian government investigated Bertolli and several other companies from mislabeling, accusing them of selling made-in-Italy olive oil when all they actually did was bottle it there. Investigators also accused Bertolli of selling low-quality oil as extra virgin. That accusation was backed by hard data. The 2011 UC Davis study found that 72% of Bertolli products failed sensory testing. Translation: the company was selling marketing, not extra virgin olive oil. And here's the worst part. Bertolli never admitted fault. More lawsuits followed, and the brand still refused to publish the polyphenol data today, which means they're hiding something. That's a pattern you're going to see again and again on this list. Fake number 8. Pesticide sensory test fail, Filippo Berio. This brand predates Bertolli. It was founded by an Italian merchant with the intention of selling the finest oils in the world, and for over a century it succeeded. But just like Bertolli, things fell apart 2 decades ago. The same UC Davis study found that 83% of Filippo Berio's extra virgin olive oil failed sensory tests. The brand was quick to criticize the results, but it was also investigated by the Italian government in 2015. Filippo Berio sources olives from Tunisia, Greece, and Spain, and by the time the oil is blended, shipped, and shelved, it no longer qualifies as extra virgin. Customer reviews describe a forgettable flavor, poor cooking performance, and a suspicious aftertaste. A telltale sign the oil either oxidized in storage or was never extra virgin to begin with. The final nail came in 2022, when an investigation found elevated levels of mineral oil residue and pesticides in Filippo Berio products. And surprisingly, those same allegations trail America's best-selling olive oil brand, which we'll get to later. Fake number 7. Missing label grocery brand, Good & Gather, Target. This private label offers a wide range of affordable groceries, and while the extra virgin olive oil is cheap, it's not high quality, and it's not just about price. Consumer Reports ranked all major olive oil brands in the US and gave Good & Gather a score of 2 out of 5. Reviewers were surprised the oil lacked any real fruit flavor, usually a sign of oxidation from improper storage, age, or heat damage. Transparent brands protect against that by printing a harvest date on the bottle. Target doesn't do that. You also won't find the specific country of origin, the state, the polyphenol levels, or the acidity levels anywhere on the label. For a product marketed as premium, that's a serious red flag. If you're starting to realize how many of these bottles are sitting in your kitchen right now, subscribe now so you don't miss the rest of this list, including the #1 worst brand in America. Fake number 6. Multi-country adulteration risk. Great value. Walmart. At roughly $9 for 25.5 fluid ounces, it's the most affordable extra virgin olive oil in the country. And price alone isn't the problem. The sourcing is. Great value olive oil is blended from Argentina, Greece, Italy, Morocco, Portugal, Spain, and Tunisia. That's a recipe for adulteration and contamination. Single-sourced extra virgin olive oil tends to hold higher concentrations of polyphenols and antioxidants, including a compound called oleocanthal. Oleocanthal is a powerful anti-inflammatory and neuroprotective agent that acts almost like ibuprofen, fighting chronic inflammation and supporting heart and brain health. Once that compound is depleted, the oil is essentially garbage. Oleocanthal has a distinct peppery bite, and if you can taste it, you're not holding real extra virgin olive oil. That's exactly what's missing from the Great Value bottle. Consumer Reports gave it the same disappointed score as Target, 2 out of 5, again citing a lack of fruit flavor. Fake number 5. Family brand sourcing deception. Colavita. This is one of the brands we genuinely wanted to love. It's a family-owned business run by 4 generations in the Molise region of Italy, and the branding leans hard into quality and tradition. That's exactly where the story falls apart. You'd expect a traditional Italian brand to use Italian olives, but that's not what you're getting. And honestly, nobody outside the company knows exactly what they're getting. The back label says the oil comes from one or more of the following countries: Italy, Greece, Portugal, and Spain. Colavita also performed poorly in the UC Davis report, with 56% of samples failing sensory testing. The brand was investigated by Italian authorities in 2015 and was later cleared of some wrongdoing, and Colavita does produce one genuine Italian extra virgin line, but that's not the one being shipped to American shelves. The oil that reaches the US is a step above Bertolli and Filippo Barrio in quality, but at 63 cents per ounce, the price simply doesn't match what you're getting. Fake number 4. Inconsistent premium price scam. Zoe Organic. Zoe claims to use the most prized olives in Europe, positioning itself as a premium product. The problem is consistency. Some batches are genuinely excellent and others are trash, and at 68 cents per ounce for the 2.5-liter jug or 83 cents per ounce for a standard 25.5 fluid ounce bottle, that's not a gamble worth taking. Zoe claims to hand-select its olives, but it doesn't publish a harvest date, and multiple consumers report receiving bottles close to their expiration date, meaning they be sitting on shelves for over a year. Consumer Reports gave Zoe a shockingly low score of 2 out of 5. The flavor profile beat out the Walmart and Target brands, but the inconsistency was disqualifying. One sample was so flawed that judges couldn't even confirm it was extra virgin olive oil at all. Fake number 3. 9-country dilution problem. Star. Star is one of the oldest American olive oil companies, founded in California in 1898 by Italian brothers who imported and packed olive oil. Over a century later, the brand still focuses on imports, but the quality has collapsed. Star was acquired by B&G Foods in 1995 and has since fallen into mass-produced, low-quality territory. It landed on the UC Davis failure list with 61% of samples failing sensory tests. What makes it worse is the marketing. Star brands itself as a source of the finest Mediterranean oils, but in reality, it's the most diluted product on this entire list. Star sources its oil from 9 countries across 5 continents, 6 if you count Turkey as part of Asia. The level of blending destroys polyphenol content, and there have been allegations that the company cuts its olive oil with canola oil. At 39 cents per ounce, this product has no redeeming qualities. Smart shoppers have been avoiding it for years. Fake number 2. Court-proven label fraud. Safeway Signature Select. If you've ever trusted this brand, now's the time to look away. For years, Safeway marketed its olive oil as made in Italy, until one customer discovered the truth. It wasn't made in Italy, and it wasn't extra virgin either. Safeway denied the allegations for years, until the customer took the company to court in 2014 and won. The court ruled that given from Safeway actually sources its oil, the company could not guarantee it met the standard for extra virgin, and Safeway was legally barred from calling it made in Italy unless it was 100% Italian. Today, the label simply says imported from Italy. But did Safeway actually learn its lesson? Not even close. The Signature Select blend still combines oil from Italy, Greece, Spain, Portugal, Tunisia, and Turkey. You're not buying cheap olive oil at a fair price. You're buying an expensive imitation. Everything we've shown you so far leads to this next one, because the worst scam of all doesn't come from a grocery store private label. It comes from the best-selling olive oil brand in the entire United States. Fake number 1. 94% sensory test failure. Pompean. Pompean has been the king of American olive oil for over a century. It's a family and farmer-owned company carrying certification from the North American Olive Oil Association, and it was the first brand to join the USDA's Voluntary Quality Monitoring Program. On paper, it looks flawless. Then you crack open the bottle. Pompean posted the worst failure rate of any brand in the entire UC Davis study. A staggering 94% of samples fail sensory evaluation. That means only 1 out of every 18 bottles of Pompean actually passes the extra virgin taste test. That's exactly why the most common complaint about Pompean is that it simply doesn't taste like olive oil. That happens when the oil has degraded and when a brand is blending sources from 11 different countries. Other common complaints describe the oil as bland or overly ripe. More evidence that it's spending far too long on the shelf before it reaches you. Pompean has been sued repeatedly by chefs and consumers, including one allegation that the company was mixing rapeseed oil into bottles and is still labeling it extra virgin olive oil. For a brand that brags about its values, that's about as bad as betrayal gets. Real olive oil brands, the ones that actually deliver. But enough with the liars, it's time to find out which brands actually sell real extra virgin olive oil and what real extra virgin olive oil is supposed to taste like. Real number 5. Award-winning California standard California Olive Ranch. This is the gold standard for American-produced extra virgin olive oil. Over the past 10 years, the brand has won more than 230 awards, from state competitions all the way up to the World Olive Oil Competition. Every bottle carries the Olive Oil Commission of California certification, a stricter standard that the one Pompean relies on, plus a QR code that lets you check the acidity of polyphenol levels of that exact batch. You will also find the harvest date printed clearly, and every drop is single-sourced. This brand even sponsored the UC Davis research, and unsurprisingly, it came out of flawless. The taste is fruity and grassy with a hint of mint, making it highly versatile for cooking and dipping alike. At 65 cents per ounce, it's a stretch for some shoppers, which is why it lands at number 5. Real number 4. World's healthiest Australian Evo, Cobram Estate. Nobody expected Australia to become an olive oil powerhouse, but in just 27 years, Cobram Estate has become the largest extra virgin olive oil producer on the continent. It has won awards for sustainability and was even named the world's healthiest extra virgin olive oil, giving it an edge over California Olive Ranch. Because Australia is new to olive oil production, Cobram Estate relies on modern cold pressing techniques, resulting in a higher oil content than most competitors, without an overpowering bite. Its California-style line offers a nutty flavor with hints of fruit and herbs, while the 100% Australian line delivers a peppery bite and the natural bitterness of freshly harvested olives. Every bottle carries a harvest date, and Cobram Estate was one of the only 2 brands to score a perfect result in the UC Davis study. It's certified by both the Olive Oil Council of California and the Australian Olive Association, and because it's essentially restaurant-quality oil, it costs nearly $1 per ounce. Real number 3. Certified Budget Costco Pick, Kirkland Signature. Costco's private label constantly makes other grocery store brands look like garbage, and its olive oil takes that reputation to another level. You would expect a store brand to cut corners like Walmart and Target, but instead, many reviewers call it the best olive oil on the market. Kirkland Signature Extra Virgin Olive Oil is certified by Bureau Veritas, one of Europe's most respected independent testing organizations. Every bottle includes harvest and press dates and full country of origin traceability, which is why it consistently appears on trusted olive oil lists across consumer research publications. The organic line costs just 28 cents per ounce, less than half the price of Zoe Organic, without sacrificing quality. If you want a single origin option, the 100% Italian line delivers a bold, full flavor perfect for dipping and salad dressing. The only real downside is that the most Kirkland options come in large 2-liter jugs. Real number 2. Single origin Spanish Squeeze, Gradza. In just 4 years, Gradza went from being mocked by industry snobs to becoming the 5th best-selling olive oil brand in the country. Everything critics laughed at, the cartoon design, the squeezable plastic bottle, the simple names Drizzle and Sizzle, turn out to be exactly what customers love. Gradza uses a special olive variety with a high smoke point, a longer shelf life, and a high antioxidant content, producing an oil you can genuinely use every day. Wirecutter named Sizzle the best all-purpose olive oil for searching, baking, roasting, dressing, and frying, while Drizzle is built for dipping and finishing touches. The formula is simple: single-source olives from Spain, picked, pressed, and bottled in the same season. Consumer Reports gave Gradza its highest rating, 4 out of 5, tying it with Cobram Estate and California Olive Ranch. But at 53 cents per ounce, it's significantly cheaper than the either one. Gradza has also moved to glass bottles for better storage without changing the taste. Real number 1. Aldi Sicilian Certified Winner. Imagine an olive oil so good that people have started adding it to their coffee to make it creamier. And that's not some random claim. That's a food critic at Tasting Table. The specially selected Sicilian extra virgin olive oil comes in a dark glass bottle, is certified by an organization in Italy where it's actually produced, and carries a printed harvest date for full transparency. Consumer Reports gave it 4 out of 5, praising its fruity, floral, and nutty notes, with other reviewers describing flavors of artichoke and green apple. Loyal Aldi shoppers have used it for bread, salads, pizza, and even olive oil cake, and it's just 50 cents per ounce. It's affordable enough for daily cooking. It's proof that you don't need a triple-digit price tag to get a genuinely real bottle of extra virgin olive oil. The olive oil industry has a massive fraud problem, but now you know exactly which 5 brands you can actually trust. Next time you're standing in the aisle, remember one simple rule. If the bottle doesn't list a harvest date, a single country of origin, a real transparency about its polyphenol levels, you're probably paying premium prices for an oil that's anything but premium. If this saved you from buying the wrong bottle, subscribe right now. We expose the brands hiding in your kitchen every single week. And you don't want to miss which everyday product we investigate next.